Good morning to one and all, my beloved students. It gives me an immense pleasure to welcome an excellent speaker for today's webinar, Dr. Jasmeet Singh Chawla, a renowned personality who is going to speak to you all about Jatak tales. In fact, Sir has shared such a very good platform in various top-notching B school. In fact, Sir's lecture is very inspiring and value adds to every student. Sir has good amount of year of experience adding on to Sir credit. So Sir has 7 years of shop floor, 18 years human resource development in secondary steel sector with NIST. Sir, over to you.
Thank you so much, sir, for all these words of appreciation. In fact, when I was discussing with our principal ma'am, Dr. Anuradha, she told that yes, learning management through Jataka tales is an excellent idea, and she was sure that inclusion of these tales into our curriculum will make the students learn a lot. And in contrast to the modern management theories and principles, these tales are very simple and from our day-to-day experiences, and therefore the student grasps them very easily. Now, learning management through Jataka tale is very simple and easy because these tales do not carry difficult managerial jargons. They contain simple truths, very pragmatic of our day-to-day life. After all, we all have to manage our life. When we were children, our parents, family members, elders, and then teachers took our care. The baby, since its birth, is interacting with the help of all its 5 senses and mind, and it is managing the problems of milk, that is hunger, thirst, sleep, and comfort which it requires. So you will appreciate that the child is also doing management. Although it is not firm, not having sufficient strength physically, and does not know the language, but it knows when and how to cry for mother. It learns how and when to smile. Gradually, it picks up other traits and gets its work done by others, the family members. In essence, this is how management is defined by all the scholars, that it is getting work done by others. It should not be surprising, therefore, that we understand what management is right from birth. It is innate in human beings. What we ought to do is to learn and develop these skills more carefully so that people around us are not irritated and disturbed, so that we are lovable in our words and deeds, so that we get our work done by others in a harmonious manner, so that we maintain congeniality, so that our social relations are cordial. As the baby grows and interacts with the surroundings and environment, it becomes empowered with 1 or 2 languages, because caretakers speak not only the mother tongue but also English. Right, and English words are right from the babyhood we are teaching to our children. So again in kindergarten, the flux of knowledge starts and improves the baby's IQ and managerial skills. He or she knows how to manage when the homework is not completed, how to solve the trivial problems of hunger and thirst. The child understands this and manages. He knows how to manage the parents and teachers and keep oneself above guilt and prove one's truthfulness. You see, psychology calls it ego. So as a person, the individual management includes interaction of the self ego with the ego of other living beings. As the schooling continues, an individual keeps maturing and life management becomes gradually complex. Why? Because our senses desire more. It adds to greed and infatuation. Now, Jataka tales provide useful case studies or example stories how to solve these intricacies of entanglement with the worldly problems and manage in such a way that a win-win situation is achieved. That means no one is hurt, no one is unhappy and dissatisfied. Everybody wins. There is no loser. Maybe it sounds little impossible and skeptical, but you will find it true when you go through 547 pieces of Jatak Attikatha. Some of them I will narrate in this brief session so that you will agree with me that yes, such a management is possible. But one has to practice. We join BBA and MBA courses and over the years learn the theory part of it. It is only when we get jobs and get managerial opportunities to apply them. Slowly we develop, get experienced, and over the years we become good or bad management masters. Because here on the job there are multifarious problems, highly complex in nature, and highly complex situations are sometimes to solve. So not only family, you will find that in higher positions not only family but economic, cultural, geographical and sociological factors come into play for the managers to solve, and the decision making domain becomes little difficult. The manager is bogged down how to solve, how to strike the balance. Then you dig the theories deep and try to find out an optimal solution. A better manager is the one who finds a win-win solution. Think of them who never took any management lesson. A better manager is the one who finds a win-win solution which satisfies all the stakeholders. Not easy, yes, but think of all those who are not even literates. Think of them. Don't they take any decisions? Do they not manage their day-to-day decisions of their lives, of their family and friends? Yes, they are all managers in some or the other way. Housewives manage their kitchens, farmers manage their fields and crops, a shopkeeper manages, howsoever small or big his enterprise be, a priest manages the temple course, religious granthis and maulvis manage the rituals and discipline of the institution. And are they MBAs? No, because in true sense, management does not require a degree. It requires more of humane qualities. Our old grandmas with no schooling used to manage the total family and its interpersonal relations with traditions intact so meticulously that management principles will salute her. Only thing today, we have to come out of the Western mindset and feel that ancient wisdom of India is not rotten egg but fragrant rose. And Jataka, nearly 2000 years old scriptures, was written as a living chronicle of Buddha's management and Buddha's management of Sangha. Right from its first paragraph, if you go through a Jatak, it starts teaching management. You see, The first line gives the information as to where was Gautam Buddha staying that moment when this Gatha was sung or recited by him, and why. So, what was the necessity of that Gatha? It's really interesting to know that all the 547 Jataka tales, compiled in 6 volumes, have the same style. The Gatha in lyrical form appears, which gives the gist of Jatak, or you can call secret of the Jatak. This information has far-reaching meaning because it indicates the name of the place. As you know, Buddha, after getting enlightenment in Bodh Gaya in Bihar, travelled far and wide for spreading the message of Dhamma and establishment of Sangha. That means an organization of the monks and nuns ordained as per the principle laid down by Buddha. It was not a miracle realized just in one day or just realized by wishing only. Lord Buddha had to make continuous efforts. He toiled a lot to convince the huge population suffering due to social inequality, untouchability, superstitions, exploitations of the common masses by such religious sects which propounded animal killing and violence. Initially, there was a lot of resistance by the vested interests, but attempts to eliminate Buddha was also foiled. He, like a management guru, managed this resistance of change and led the transformation in the society. So the information which I just now mentioned tells you the socio-political background in which the Guru was operating. He was rightly addressed by all the monks and nuns and devotees as Shasta, means principal teacher, who has all the responsibilities of managing the affairs of the monastery. Although Anand, Sariputta, Modgalyayan and other Astavirs, you can say the managers, were there to assist him, and their areas were also earmarked. And it is known today that this Jetwan, which later on flourished like the headquarters of the Sangha, this Jetwan monastery near the then capital Sravasti of Koshal, there were 80 Astavirs, many acharyas and upadhyas engaged for education of the residents, thousands in number, of all age mix. You will be surprised, all age mix, monks and nuns were there, cultural mix up, and they all hailed from different strata of the society. It was a stupendous task of management. Even if you talk today, in the modern age of digital India, you will appreciate that this was a very, very difficult work. But Lord Buddha, because of his qualities, because of his achievements, enlightenment, he could tell those principles on which the harmony in the society, love, compassion, non-violence, etc. win. And ultimately, the human qualities, they are more important. I will, tell, for example, that management is something which we do every day. For example, if the school bus has come at 8 a.m. and I am not ready, so what will I do is, I will manage. Maybe that day I will not take my bath, I will take the tiffin along with me, and thinking that okay, this breakfast I will take in the bus. So these are some of the ideas which everybody how to manage, they know it. And Lord Buddha also propagates that yes, you have to find out the samyak, the optimum of your life. For example, if The doctor prescribes you that you should not take, you are a diabetic patient, you should not take sugar. Okay, you leave this sugar taking. But sometimes when you feel you took a spoonful of it and saw to your body that yes, I am able to manage. I am able to manage with this little quantity of the sugar. So, based upon these experiments on your body, you can find out what is your samyak, what is your equilibrium point, and till you maintain that equilibrium point, you will find that the life is managed. Life does not give any serious problems. When we see the Jatakas, as I told you, this is a total management style. The monks, for example, sometimes they do mistakes. They do not adhere to the course. They break the discipline of the Sangha. We have to find out our samyak point in our life. And the same thing is propagated by Lord Buddha. He recites, he narrates a story which...
Sir, can you come back please? You were on the monk.
The monks, when they are doing some mistake, they are not adhering to the discipline of the Sangha, and a complaint is brought to the notice of Shastra, say by Samastabir, Sariputta or Modgalyayan or for their Upadhyayas, then he will call that monk. He will just not start taking action on that. I have found many managers, when they are, complained about some worker by the chargeman, they simply take action without giving any opportunity for the erring person to explain. And this is a wrong management style. Shastra gives a better management style that he will ask the question, Bhikshu, kya ye baat sach hai? So now you imagine that this one sentence has a very powerful meaning. If the monk says that yes, Bhante, ye sach hai, that means he has already done the introspection and he will like to improve. If he says no, I have not done this, I have not committed this, then he will tell us the complications in the Sangha, what others are doing. So the manager will be able to know what is going on in the Sangha which is not to his notice. So this is a better managerial style which I find that in Jatakas, the first beginning is with that. Do not lose your anger and start taking action without verifying. So the idea is that for this bringing out the psychological change in the erring monk or the nun, the story of the past is narrated by Lord Buddha. And I will tell you a story now which will give you an insight how Buddha was able to manage such a complex age mix of the nuns. Once what happened, a nun was there in the monastery and the nun used for begging his own area in Sravasti. In Sravasti, the nun used to go to the same households which knew that this nun is a daughter of very rich person and because of vairagya, because of the detachment from the world, she is ordained now, she has become a nun. So people in that area...
Nun, sir?
What is the meaning of nun, sir?
Nun is the feminine gender of monks. A monk and a nun. In the Sangha, both were ordained. Bhikshus were also there and Bhikshunis were also there. In the monastery, both these sects, males and females, who were ordained and they practiced Dhamma. So, I will not go into the history of how this Sangha was made, but here is a managerial problem which is solved by the management guru, Lord Buddha, in a very, very humane manner. That I will.
Usually nuns are fought in the Christian religions, right, sir?
In Christianity, you will appreciate that it was much later. But Lord Buddha was in the BC era, pre-Christian era, say 500 BC. So more than 500 years ago. So what happened? A nun was there from a very rich family.
Nuns are married, sir?
And nuns are not married. Nuns are not married, and they take the Dhamma like your monks. They are ordained into the Dhamma, and they stick to all those principles of Panchshila and all the norms they are established by the Dhamma.
Even monks are unmarried or married, sir?
No, they are also unmarried, and as I told you, right from the childhood, a monk can be. Sir, just a minute. There are all age mixes. So even in a later life, for example, a man, he is a household, but later on he detaches from the worldly affairs. He has got vairagya, and he leaves all his worldly affairs and is ordained. That means he accepts the Dhamma. So after that he has to lead a very pious life as per the principles of Buddhism. Okay. So I will request every one of you to ask me in the last end of the session, so that I'll be able to finish my.
Last question, sir. May I ask last question, sir?
Okay, so kindly do not take that I am propagating Dhamma. No, sir. I am not for the religion propagation of. I am not a Dhamma Kathik. Okay. I am just explaining from my experience of the so long with different management positions, that look here, these are the beautiful stories by which we can manage in a very nice manner. So should I come to that story of the nun? Yes, are you listening all? So kindly ask me questions at the end, hai na? So what happens? This is a very interesting story. So what happened? This nun was begging in those areas where he could get very nourishing food, very palatable food. So she used to go there, and people used to regard her and offer her all the good things to eat. So what happened to other nuns? To her colleagues, when she came back to monastery, she used to forbid them that don't go to that area of Sravasti. There are many oxen, very dangerous oxen, and very dangerous animals who can hit you, and people are also very miser. They do not give good food. So she was speaking lies. At the same time, she was, nursing lot of greed in her. So what happened once, that she did not return back up to late in the evening, and suddenly people brought her on a stretcher because she met an accident. Some buffalo or some ox hit her, and her thigh bone was broken. So what happened? Shasta, when he came to know, then he narrated a story. He gave a story that once there was a flock of birds, and these birds were controlled by Bodhisattva. There was a manager of the bird, and one of those sparrows, it used to go to the national highway where lot of grains were carried, transported. So lot many grains fell on the road, and this sparrow was very happy because he used to get lot of food. But he will come and tell other birds not to go to that side because many such carts are there and they may kill you. So like that he used to caution. So what happened? This Bodhisattva manager in the evening, he goes and finds out who has not come back. So this Bodhisattva finds out that there is one bird which which is still to return. So he goes there in the highway, and he finds that there is the dead body there. So what is the implication, what is the message of this story is that in the monastery you people do not have a register. So first you maintain a register, who is going to which side, because she was not here and nobody knew that none has not returned. So kindly see that this is the modern management you are having in all the offices, register of all the attendees, and those whosoever come will go by permission, will sign the register, and when they come. So like that, there is a system, management system.